What happens when a super strong, super fast, highly trained warrior princess wages war against every single man on Earth? How much destruction would she cause? And most importantly, why did she want this? Her people called her Lady of Snow. The reason why is, born in the ice caves, the White Fox women would challenge each other to go deeper and deeper. The deeper into the earth the ice caves went, the colder it got. Many White Fox women froze to death trying to get deeper, stronger. Oftentimes a mother White Fox woman who had been through the pains of childbirth would make it deepest of them all, knowing the pain that comes from being a White Fox woman that has contributed to the dwindling ranks. And yet she, the Lady of Snow, had gone deeper than any of them, down past the icefall, past the carcasses of dead yetis, into the grotto, where there's freshly fallen snow falling the opposite direction than it should have, falling upward. The only people that knew of the freshly fallen snow in the ice grotto is the Lady of Snow, because every single other woman trying to get down there froze. She was made the ruler of the White Fox women, ruler even though she had never given birth, not to a single one of them. She led them well, getting ice fishing from the surface and feeding the mothers as they would give birth. If they gave birth to a boy, all the White Fox women would curse him and leave him out in the cold of the cave, unable to defend himself. The matriarchal society breeded strong warriors, training them from birth and teaching them that any time they saw a man, he would be 10 times stronger than her, and she would need to use her training and her wits to survive. But all was not perfect for the Lady of Snow. In fact, there was a coalition of White Fox women, led by a woman called the Lady of Ice, to go against her. To prove them wrong, the Lady of Snow said, "I will go again to the place of snow, at the base of the ice caves." "Wait," one of her followers said. "You'll die if you go again. You're not young anymore." "Nonsense," the Lady of Snow said. Even though she was 26 years old, that was considered old for the White Fox women, who lived in the harsh climate of the ice caves. "No, I will prove this, and my leadership will never be in doubt." The Lady of Snow took her first step deeper into the ice caves. She went down, shivering already. She knew that her critics were right. She wasn't young like she used to be, and she had never bared the pain of childbirth. Still, she grit her teeth. She made it past the first corpse of a White Fox woman. Letitia, she had grown up with her, and she moved on, touching Letitia's face before saying goodbye and going deeper. Indeed, she saw other White Fox women who froze to death, trying to usurp her position as the leader of the tribe. But she still went on. She finally saw the first dead Yeti, its carcass frozen in a roar, with arrows from the White Fox women in his chest. She smiled, knowing that their ice magic had made the Yeti freeze, even though he was supposed to be a master of the cave. As she went deeper, she shivered and remembered the first times that she went under it. She didn't have the same grit that she used to, the same desire to prove them wrong. Instead, she was fighting for her survival. She wanted to give up. She saw a corpse of a strong White Fox woman from before her birth and tried to look away. She could not do it. But finally, she went past the ice grotto, past the ice fall, and she saw snow falling upwards again. She knew this was the same position she had been, but she wanted to prove she could go deeper. She walked past where the snow flew upward. Her body was chilled to its bones now. She could barely take a step without her body being of agonizing pain. And still, the Lady of Snow imagined giving birth to her first child. She imagined the pain that it would cause. She kept going, deeper and deeper and deeper into the cave, until finally, past the place where the snow flew upward, she felt warmth. She heard the noises of a bird, the noises of creatures moving in a forest. She was surprised to learn that at the bottom of the ice cave there was a beautiful jungle, hot and humid, full of creatures. Smiling, she realized she was no longer the Lady of Snow, but the Lady of the Jungle. She would run up to reach her contemporaries, but it would not last. Guided by the warmth of the jungle, she made it back up to where the White Fox women were supposed to be waiting for her. But what she saw was abject terror. Men. 20 or 30 men in metal suits, holding strange metal sticks, stood over the white fox women who were massacred. Their blood was all over the ice. "That one's alive," one of the soldiers said, and they turned on her. The Lady of Snow screamed in rage. She pulled out her icicle knives and stabbed into the eye holes of the metal suit. Even though the technology of the suits was amazing, she pierced the veil, and the soldier fell down, holding his eyes. The other soldiers grabbed her and apprehended her. "We need an alive one of the soldiers said. And as much as the Lady of Snow fought, as much as she saw every single white fox woman of her tribe murdered, she knew that the stories that they told about men were true, that a man was 10 times stronger than a white fox woman. They sedated her, and she fell into a deep, restful sleep, thinking about the jungle at the bottom of the ice cave, the jungle that she could never share with her contemporaries, because men had killed them all. She woke up in a metal cell. It was strange. She had never seen the material before, but it was polished, reflecting her like a mirror. "Hello," a man in a suit across from her looked at her as she gazed at him. "Do you speak English?" the man said. The Lady of Snow turned to face the man and narrowed her eyes. "English is not the language I speak. Why are you speaking my language?" The man in the suit started taking notes. Interesting, there must have been some cross-cultural happenings a couple 100 years ago. "What did you say your name was?" The Lady of Snow struggled against her restraints. "I will kill you where you stand, man," she said. She spat the word man at the man in the suit, but the man just chuckled. "Those ears on your head, do those work?" She twitched her white fox ears. She didn't have ears on the side of her head, like the man. Instead, she had white fox ears on the top of her head and pointed them towards him. "I wish I did not have ears," the Lady of Snow said, "for I would not hear your vile man words." The man chuckled. "We're putting together a strike force. You can kill as many guys as you want. I don't think we have any women on the hit list." "Why would I ever help you?" the Lady of Snow said. The man smiled. "Because we put a bomb in your skull, right next to your temple." The Lady of Snow's restraints released. Immediately, she put her hands out to strangle the man, and he pressed a button. A buzzing in her skull stopped her where she stood, and she knew the words that he spoke were true. "Bomb, what is this?" "It means you die if you attack me," the man said, smiling. "Now, do you want to hear about your first target?" "He's a dude," the guy said, smiling. The Lady of Snow watched the world of humans go by with bitter contempt. She saw men walking among women and couldn't believe the women didn't mind it. She was disgusted. She promised to herself that she would kill every single man where he stood if she could get this infernal device out of her head. "His name's Code Man. We got him hiding in the woods of this jungle, but we can't triangulate his position." "You're like a bloodhound, right?" the man said, sitting next to her. "You can smell?" The Lady of Snow didn't want to speak to the man, but the man pressed a button, and the buzzing came again. "Hey," the man said, "I'm talking to you." He put a rag of synthetic material up to the Lady of Snow's nose. She smelled it against her will, and she picked up on the scent as the hovercraft landed in the middle of the jungle. "Find him, kill him, and I'll let you have whatever the remains of that ice cave is." The man smiled. "For the record, lady, your people attacked us first." The Lady of Snow didn't want to listen to his man lies. Soon he would be dead, and his blood would be over her sword. But she walked out into the strange jungle, looking up at the strange sky with a strange star staring down on him. She thought the star must be a female star, for it burned so bright. She smelled the direction of this Code Man in the woods and walked without fear. She could sense all the creatures moving around her, but none of them touched her. They knew how powerful she was, even though she was captured by men. If only she could go back to her ice caves. But she knew, remembering the little girls that had been slaughtered, that there was no such thing as going back. She would have to kill this man, and then kill her captor, somehow. She would find out. She found him hiding in a cave. It was actually pretty pathetic. He had a green and black superhero costume and was typing frantically on a computer. Come on, he said. She readied her throwing icicle knife and aimed at him. Just one more, Cody Man said. She threw the knife and it landed true, hitting him in the shoulder. Ugh, Code Man said. Even though he was hurt, he still reached for his computer, but the Lady of Snow came out of the jungle. It is not honorable to fight when someone does not know who you are. She threw one of her icicle knives towards Codeman. Do your best in battle, but I hate all men, so I will kill you where you stand, the Lady of Snow said. She didn't understand this world. She wished to be back among her people. The Cody man looked at the knife and laughed. Are you serious? The Cody man said. Walter sends a cat girl with an icicle knife after me? He chuckled. Can you get this thing out of my shoulder? I got some work to do. He turned back towards his computer and started typing. You do not wish to fight, the Lady of Snow said. Yeah, I mean, kill me if you want. Obviously, you can beat me in a fight. But I'm finishing this program that should kill Walter if you just let me do it. Kill Walter? Yeah. He turned and looked at her in the eyes. Guy in a suit probably put a bomb in your head. I got one too, but I hacked it. You, she said. Just give me a second. I can kill him. He's in that hovercraft, right? She was incredibly confused, but she understood the one word the man said. Hovercraft. And done. The jungle was rocked by the giant explosion. She saw a plume of fire raising high above the trees. Immediately, her head buzzed. The thing in her head was starting to explode. Oh, shoot, Codeman said. He typed a couple of commands into the computer, and suddenly, the vibrating subsided. Immediately, the Lady of Snow picked up her knife from the ground and tried to stab Codeman in the chest. Codeman grabbed it at the last second, and she pushed him to the ground of the cave. I'll kill you. I'll kill men, the Lady of Snow said. I saved your life, Codeman said. Please, I have a bomb in my head too. We were both slaves of the same guy. Please. The Lady of Snow wanted to kill him. She wanted to punish every single man, but she knew that his words were true. She let go. She sat at the floor of the cave with the coding man and his broken computer and sighed. Thank you, Coding Man said. Now he's just one of a whole army of guys just like him. The Lady of Snow looked at him in the eyes. So you want to help me get him, or what? She looked down at her knife. She remembered her promise to kill all men for what they did to her and her sisters. But she realized that maybe, just maybe, some of the ways were wrong, and maybe this man did not deserve to die.